CNN Headline News 24/7.
You know, most parents pretty tough on themselves, always worrying whether they're doing a good job. But now some may actually get graded on those parenting skills. One Connecticut school board tossing that idea around. Are report cards for parents, though, really the right way to go? We all know parenting is tough enough, but how would you like your child's school to give you a report card, tell you how you're doing as a mom or a dad? Mike Alano's tackling this one in tonight's Get to the Point segment. This is something you do every night. You tackle topics dealing with morals, faith, values, parenting, asking the tough questions. So really a report card for how I'm doing?
Let's explain it to you. I'll say this, it's not A, B, C, D, and F, but here's how it goes. School Board Manchester, Connecticut, they're thinking about the proposal that would, as Erica alluded to, evaluate you as parents, basically grading them on what kind of job they're doing to prepare their kids for the school day. Stephen Edwards, he's the board member that spearheaded this idea, couldn't join us. Talked to him on the phone. He outlined for me the 5 areas of concern that get a check or not check if you're failing in these areas. Your kid doing their homework, they get to school on time, having a decent breakfast, are they dressing for the weather, having a coat on when it's cold out, and making sure mom or dad or both attend a parent-teacher conference. Again, no letter grades on this one. Mr. Edwards says he wants to help students by helping families. Carl Stafford, he's a board member and is against this idea. And Carl, I got to say this, when I first saw this, saw the headline, I was with you on it. I was like, wait a minute. But as I look further, the question to you is, what's wrong with helping out a family or some parents that are struggling a little bit?
I think it actually opens up more questions than fills in answers. I have a lot of problems with it.
How so? I mean, it's, again, it's not a letter grade, number one, which swayed me a little bit. And number two, you're talking about pretty basic things. It doesn't seem too intrusive whether or not your child's doing homework or whether or not they're coming to school and their stomach's growling because they're hungry.
It's still punitive. It's still punitive, and you've been graded before, and now we're going to be grading parents. I think that you actually have to bring parents in instead of pushing them away, and I think by grading them, that's going to be pushing them away instead of getting them more active in the education process.
How's it punitive to you?
It's punitive because it's grading. So, I mean, if you go in and you have your teacher's conference and the teacher hands you a sheet of paper that says, well, geez, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Stafford, but you really fell down on these following things. Your child came to school without a coat on one day, and I heard the stomach growling, and, you know, you listed off all those things. And I got to tell you that I think many parents are really put off by this, and I am too.
Is that what you're hearing at the school?
Yeah.
Or are the parents upset about this?
And I'm speaking from experience too. I grew up in a household where my father had to raise 4 boys. My mother died very young, and so after she passed away, my father was fed the burden of 4 boys to feed and house and clothe and take care of, and he had to work 2 jobs. So, you know, not only did he lose his wife, but now all of a sudden they're going to tell him that he's not reading to his children.
Right. Well, now, it doesn't say they go that far. And let's take your father's example. Your example, wouldn't it have been nice if someone would have said, Mr. Stafford, are you struggling here? How can we help? That's the way Mr. Edwards describes the program, that you would go to the parents or the family and say, how can we help here? Can we sign your child up for the breakfast program? Can we make sure your child has a coat to wear? Because I know the socioeconomic status in the school district can vary from people, the haves and the have-nots.
I think there's a big pride factor here, and I think that if all of a sudden, you know, they're telling you that you're falling down, there's a lot of people that don't want that help. They want to do it by themselves. And I know for us, my father did it by himself, and he didn't want anybody's help.
Right. Isn't it, though, and not to pick on your father, I'm sure he did a great job, but as parents, I mean, sometimes I've got to hear some tough things. Isn't to swallow the pride to help the kids the way to go?
Well, I think it's going to focus on the wrong parents. I actually think that what we have to do is we have to learn how to communicate with parents better. And we're talking a whole different demographic here. We're not just talking about, you know, if you look at what it targets one-parent households, and we need to learn what those parents really need. And I think by subjecting them to a grade score, it's not going to work. It's just not going to bring them in. It's not going to involve them. And I have a huge problem with this.
And I know you're not alone on this one, Carl, and we appreciate your time. Thanks again, Carl Stafford, again, against this idea. And we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. Should the school give parents their own report cards Let us know what you think. Send us an email, maybe a Vmail, cnn.com/prime news. That's the address. And again, I was with Carl Stafford at the beginning, but the more I thought about it, it's like, man, let's help the kids first.
And you and I talked about it a little bit earlier today, and I have to tell you, initially I thought, well, you know, I understand the point he makes about pride and how it can be tough for a parent. The last thing you want to hear as a parent is, you're not doing the job the way I think it should be done. But yet, it's tough on a kid, too, if they come to school and they can't concentrate at school because their stomach is growling, or they're cold because, you know, they don't. And I understand the pride. It's tough to say, I need some help. I need some help for my kid. But if this could work, I mean, it seems like it's worth exploring.
He hit on that, and it is a sensitive issue. When you're talking about parenting, no one wants to hear they're not doing a good job parenting. You can tell me I'm a bad news anchor. You can tell me I'm bad mowing the lawn, whatever.
Oh, no.
Don't tell me I'm a bad parent. That hurts.
Absolutely.
So, but sometimes what's best for the kid should come first.
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I hope you'll follow it for us.
I will, yes.
All right.